Hello everyone, Fox here, and it's time to talk about State of Decay 2 news, because Update 19 is approaching, and I'm a little surprised. They've had multiple streams covering it, and they said they've got another stream coming forward that has even more stuff to talk about Update 19, so it seems like it's going to be a little bigger than normal. I'm mainly going to focus on their recent stream, but to quickly recap the ones before, they're doing an upgrade to Drucker County to make things look a bit nicer, as well as making it so that vehicles can navigate uphill and up rocks more effectively. And they're also adding in this thing called the Blood Ambulance, which is going to replace the Wizard Van, and according to Jeffrey Card, the Wizard Van is either going to be gone for good, and if they do decide to bring it back, it's not going to come back for a pretty long time. But the recent stream, that's where the real information is at, because that's where we're going to hear about the new World War II Bounty Broker pack coming out, as well as game balancing, including a change to shotguns, a change to pyro launchers, and a change to how looting works or the presence of loot on the map. And lastly, this is mainly going to be news reporting. I know some people want to hear my opinions about these things. I'm going to save that for separate videos, though, to keep the time length down. Anyways, let's begin with the new World War II pack. First off, this pack is separate. It's a different thing completely from the original World War II pack, which actually predated the Bounty Broker, but was added into the Bounty Broker and is one of the packs that got cycled out. So we're actually going to be getting two World War II packs. We're getting the new one, and the old one is coming back, but the old one is not coming back in the form of a bounty broker option. It's actually being brought back and just permanently being added into the global standard loot in State of Decay 2. Now, the first thing you want to know about the World War II weapons pack is that when it's added, it's going to bump out the bundle up pack, meaning that all of the items in the bundle up pack will no longer be available to purchase or to complete the bounties for, but any of the items that you obtained, any of the items that you unlocked, you do get to keep. So make sure you take a look at my video where I review the Plunder Pack and the Bundle Up Pack, which is getting knocked out by the World War II pack, so you can see if there's any weapons that you should get at the last minute before the pack gets cycled out. At any rate, the first weapon they showed was a submachine gun, the MP40. They did not show the stats of every single weapon, but I'll try to show the stats where possible. Now, I didn't notice any special features on this MP40, so it's probably going to be mainly a cosmetic thing, just something that fans of the MP40 will want to use. Similarly, the next weapon is the ceremonial M1A1 Thompson submachine gun, and once again, I just didn't really see anything that makes this weapon distinctive. It doesn't have like an integrated suppressor or a sight or anything like that, so once again, going to be mainly a cosmetic thing. Then they showed the Tank Hammer, which is a two-handed weapon, and yeah, I didn't get to see the stats on it, unfortunately, so I can't really tell you how good it is going to be, but I think it looks pretty cool at least. After that, we got to see the cosmetic options for clothing. First up was a World War II combat helmet, and, well, you know, it's a helmet, not a whole lot to say there. And then there is a aviator cap with the goggles on it, which, you know, kind of cool, I guess, so you could put those on if you want. And next we have the OSS Silent Night Suppressed Revolver. It is technically the third weapon of its kind. That is to say, there are only 3 revolvers that have suppressors on them in all of State of Decay 2 thus far. And that's because revolvers will not accept silencers as a weapon attachment, so the only silenced revolvers are ones that just have it built onto the weapon permanently, making them pretty unique weapons. The way the Silent Night differs from the other two, which are the Echo S1 revolver and then the refurbished Echo S1 revolver from the Bounty Broker pack, is that they were 22 caliber weapons. The Silent Night is a 45 caliber weapon. Also, should have said that the MP40 shoots 9mm bullets and the Ceremonial Thompson shoots 45 caliber bullets. As far as the Silent Night revolver goes, it should be a really good weapon just because suppressed revolvers are really good, especially if you have gunslinging to make the reloading process faster, but it's not going to be as good as the Echo S1, and that's because 45 caliber bullets are just more expensive to shoot, and zombies die in one headshot, so might as well shoot small bullets. Anyways, after that, we got another submachine gun, the Soviet PPSH-41. It shoots 9mm bullets, and yeah, it's another submachine gun, which I didn't really see anything distinctively different about it. And then after that, they talked about a weapon that I didn't really get to see the name or the stats of. It looks like it's some kind of bladed shovel, basically a trench digging tool. And from the way they describe it, it seems like it's going to be a heavier duty bladed weapon, so I'm expecting lower ease of use but higher durability. And since I couldn't see the stats, I can't tell you if it's going to be good or not. And then we've got, what do you know, another submachine gun. This time it is the Danger Dog PPSH-41. It differs from the standard PPSH in that it has both a scope and a permanently integrated suppressor. It also shoots the 9mm bullets, and probably the biggest thing that makes it different is that it's actually not going to be part of the bounty broker. It's going to be just added into the global loot tables permanently. This weapon seems like it'll be really, really good. It's got everything you want. It shoots the second cheapest bullets, it's got a scope, and it's permanently suppressed, so I suspect it'll be really, really good. And on the last part of the World War II packs, actually two things. You've got the FBI fighting rifle, and then also the vintage rifle compensator, which is actually a weapon attachment. So if I'm understanding it right, the rifle compensator actually comes with the rifle itself. I don't know if you're going to be able to purchase it from the bounty broker separately, but what the rifle is an assault rifle. It's a variant of the Browning automatic rifle. It fires the 7.62mm rounds, and it has a scope. The vintage rifle compensator is very similar in quality to a professional break. It can be detached, so you could put it on a different weapon if you want. And overall, I'd describe it as a pretty mid-grade assault rifle. It has some good features that you're looking for, like the scope, but at the same time doesn't have some of the other insane features, like a humongous magazine, but it's still going to be an okay weapon. And as far as the vintage rifle compensator goes, the devs make it seem like it's only going to be subtly different from a professional muzzle brake, so that just doesn't really seem like something that would be worth my time to go out and just amass a whole bunch of them for some kind of strategic value. And that is all for the World War II stuff. I will review what I consider the good items out of that pack after I get them all, but let's move on to the next subject, which is the shotgun balance changes. So, shotguns, they've basically done three things to them. The first and most important thing they did is they have changed the way the game determines where the pellets go when you pull the trigger on a shotgun. And the way it seems to work now is that the game takes the range stat of the shotgun into consideration, and then if you are within a certain range, it will direct the pellets more towards the zombies than not. And what that, I guess, means is you can expect to be able to hit zombies at a longer range, and if you have multiple zombies in the crosshair, because, you know, shotguns tend to have a wide crosshair, you can expect to reliably hit multiple zombies. Now, if that doesn't make sense, the main takeaway is you should be able to score effective hits against zombies at a longer range, and you should be able to hit multiple zombies more easily. That's the main thing you need to know. The next change they made was by reducing the amount of noise a shotgun makes when you shoot it, down from competitive noise to a 50 caliber rifle down to that of a 5.56mm rifle. Now, that's probably going to be beneficial in the lower difficulties, but that's still pretty noisy in Nightmare Zone, so don't think you can just go popping off with a shotgun in Nightmare Zone and no one's going to notice. And then lastly, they upgraded the Echo S3 shotgun, and therefore I would also assume the refurbished Echo S3 shotgun, because those are separate weapons. They upgraded the magazine capacity from 4 shells to, I believe, 7 shells. They said some kind of like 6+1 thing, so I'm just going to say 7 shells. And I'm going to be honest, that could be good enough to make the Echo S3 into the best general-purpose shotgun for Nightmare Zone, because as it stands, it's the only silenced shotgun in the game, and its only real weakness was that it had very, very low capacity, so you had to reload all the time. But now it's basically like having a Model 870, which is the most common shotgun, except it's silent, so it actually could really bump it up to being a pretty good weapon. But yeah, that's all for shotgun balancing. Let's move on to the Pyro Launcher changes, which has everyone up in arms because, well, the Pyro Launcher has been nerfed. Oh my god, is it not OP anymore? Well, they only changed one thing about the Pyro Launcher, and that is specifically that it does less damage to Plague Hearts. A lot less. It takes basically 2 full magazines to destroy a Plague Heart now. So, oh noes, is the Pyro Launcher a bad weapon now? No, the Pyro Launcher is definitely still OP. It's still the best weapon in the game, and that's because the most important thing the Pyro Launcher does is just wipe out basically limitless numbers of zombies and ferals without any skill requirement. It could do 0 damage to Plague Hearts, be completely 100% ineffective against Plague Hearts, and it would still be the most powerful weapon in the game in its current state. If you're wondering why the nerf occurred, it's because according to their metrics, the Pyro Launcher is the 2nd most popularly equipped weapon in the game, and it is the 3rd most popularly shot weapon in the game across all platforms. And as a result, they've translated this as that the Pyro Launcher is the most powerful weapon in the game for killing Plague Hearts, which it is the most powerful weapon in the game, but it's not the most powerful weapon in the game for killing Plague Hearts. That would actually go to bloater gas grenades, which kill a Plague Heart in 2 hits and are very cheap to mass produce. So was the nerf justified? I'm going to leave that for another video, a Pyro Launcher discussion video, but my short answer is that don't throw your Pyro Launcher away. It's still the best weapon in the game. It's still OP. It's still absolutely broken. It doesn't need to be good against Plague Hearts to be OP. And whew, man, we're finally to the last changes. We got 2 miscellaneous ones. The first one is actually about looting. So they're going to be making looting easier in the game by changing the way loot distribution works. And by that, what they mean is that when you visit a building, it can have anywhere between 1 and 12 lootable things, and it's all based on commonality. So 5 was the most common. So most of the time when you went to a building, it would have 5 lootable things. And then everything that had more than 5 lootable things would be progressively less common, and everything that had fewer than 5 lootable things would also be progressively less common, until you get to the point where a building with 1 lootable thing or like 10, 11, or 12 lootable things, they add like something like a 1, 2, or 3% chance to occur. And this is what they are changing. No longer will any buildings appear that have 5, 6, and 7 lootable objects inside of them. So now all of the buildings will have from 1 to 4 and then jump up and start at 8 to 12. In other words, buildings will either have a smaller quantity of items or a larger quantity of items. And the reason for this is because they found that when you find a building that had 5, 6, or 7 lootable things, it would take 1.5 trips to loot it all, and people were very unhappy about it. But at the same time, they still want locations that feel like you just struck the mother lode. Oh my god, there's like 10 lootable things in here. Because when you strike the mother lode, psychologically, it's like, oh, it makes sense that I need to, make 2 trips here. I just struck the mother lode. But it was really annoying players that found a building with like 5 or 6 lootable things, and they're like, oh, I have to leave behind 1 or 2 things, and I really don't want to make a second trip. And basically, that's the kind of attitude that they're countering by making the buildings either easier to loot, that you can grab everything in one run, or they're like the mother lode, and you'll have to, make several trips or bring an additional person with you to strip it all out. And that's what they're doing. And finally, the last thing I have to report for you is that they are adding some extra features to the auto shop. The auto shop will now be able to build repair kits and advanced repair kits, as well as a brand new feature that didn't previously exist, the ability to craft bulk repair kits and bulk advanced repair kits, which gives you a group of repair kits or advanced repair kits at a discount of 3 for the price of 2. And I think that's a pretty good feature. I don't know if it's good enough to have an auto shop as a permanent large facility, because it's still not as good as like a trade depot or a sniper tower, but it's definitely a step in the right direction for making certain facilities more attractive. But in the end, I'm pretty sure the way people will use the auto shop is they'll just temporarily build it until they get all the things they need out of it, and then they'll just tear it down and replace it with a much more permanent large facility. But oh my god, we made it. That is all the news until, well, apparently they've got another stream to talk about even more stuff, probably like bug fixes or something. But hey, tell me what you think down in the comments section. What are your opinions about all these things? The World War II weapons, shotgun bouncing, pyro launcher, and the other changes like building loot and the auto shot. Let me know what you think. Do you approve of these changes down in the comment section? At any rate, I hope you found this video informative. Like this video if it was interesting. Subscribe for future State of Decay 2 content. Of course, remember that you don't have to be good to get good.